Hello and good day, listeners. This morning we're going to be talking about Patty Jenkins, Gal Gadot, and Wonder Woman 1984. So the critical reception for this film initially looked euphoric, a perfect and rather welcome pop tonic to a dismal pandemic winter, and then those good reviews hit a brick wall. Right now, the movie's critical reception has settled into a general din of disappointment. There are a lot of rather shop-worn and well-circulated criticisms of the sequel going around, which we're also going to touch on briefly, but I wanted to start by discussing how the film fails to grapple with the promise of its own premise.
Think about finally having everything you always wanted.
In spite of how overplayed the return to the 1980s feels at this point. No, that's the wrong thing. But yes, the 80s are very in right now. I actually like that the film tries to make an ideological point about consumption and wish fulfillment. The very genre conceit of superhero films, at their most ordinary, is that you can have your cake and eat it too. You can win the day and avoid undue violence. There is drama, but no lasting consequences.
I do know what I'd wish for. To be like Diana.
For me, one of the things the DC universe has done well is that it's good about ditching this kind of overly fantastic storytelling dynamic. So even figures as powerful as Superman and Wonder Woman cannot secure clean victories. There are always consequences and a cost, even when the good guys prevail. So at first, 1984 seems to take this idea seriously, and then it punts. When everyone renounces their wish at the end of the movie, the world returns to a stable and safe place, as if the 1980s and its economic excesses were actually okay. It just needed its very worst manifestations to be monitored and then held in check. In this respect, Maxwell Lord is not only an uneven and kind of flat villain, but he lacks any kind of compelling motivation beyond a very late established and very pat family dynamic, and this just to me seems like a missed opportunity. He's a kook and a crook with no real ideological commitments, even though we see him at times espousing capitalist evangelism in a truly haunting way.
Now, tell me, Mr. President, what do you need? And you're not speaking to me here, but to the universe. What do you wish for?
But it turns out all of this talk is just strategic. It's not his real worldview. So that worldview and ideology that he seems to represent is never actually scrutinized properly.
The point is, ladies and gentlemen, that greed, for lack of a better word, is good. Greed is right. Greed works. Greed clarifies, cuts through, and captures the essence of the evolutionary spirit. Greed in all of its forms. Greed for life, for money, for love, knowledge, has marked the upward surge of mankind, and greed, you mark my words, will not only save Teldar Paper, but that other malfunctioning corporation called the USA.
A sign of how the movie misses the mark in developing this idea is how significantly malls and fashion play into the movie's key moments. In Wonder Woman's first action sequence, the mall is treated earnestly and unironically as a proper civic space. Consumerism and community are one and the same. It's apparently where all Americans truly come together, under the god of shopping. Likewise, the end of the film imagines a harmonious, post-crisis exchange between Diana and the random man who had previously hosted Steve Trevor's posthumous return. Their camaraderie takes place in a shopping plaza, and is reducible to approving of each other's luxurious costuming. While one can applaud how the friendly platonic scene plays with gender norms, it nonetheless encapsulates how the film actually endorses a version of capitalist normalcy that it presumes to criticize.